more than one opportunity to do it in front of a small select audience, usually of staffers, and going through and making sure that the right words are being selected, and actually the intention that the president wants to convey is actually being communicated properly. So what lies behind all of this that you're going to see tonight is a tremendous amount of work. A lot of legs moving below the surface here.
Don Bear, aren't there competing interests in the White House as to what gets in the speech, and maybe the last person who saw it or handed it to the president may have a little bit more play in the speech?
I have no idea what you're talking about. For sure, not just within the White House, but across the entire administration. And
Hey, Aaron, how you doing?
Most presidents have their outside advisors too, but whether they are their political advisors, their consultants, and the.
Hey, Liz. Ugh. It's not. It hasn't started yet. It'll be louder once it's like, I'll turn it up once it starts. All it is right now is a bunch of C-SPAN commentary. Folding laundry. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, Linda. How's it going? I was the dentist. Found out that one of my teeth was cracked and I got to get a crown. So, could have been worse. Could have been better. Ow. No. No, I am not. Nope. Ooh. How's everybody doing? Have any interviews today? One. Just because I had the dentist appointment. So, it was a calm day today. Which is good. I needed one. Needed a nice calm day. interesting. Wonder if people are just doing stuff right now. Or they're all watching somewhere else. There are other people live. Sock just tried to eat your finger. I hate when that happens. Like 5 people on the tube right now. It's weird. Or on TikTok. I've been watching the court case. Watching a court case, so I've been relaxing. Heck yeah. Relaxing is good. We like relaxing. Lewis is live. That's true. There is that too. There is that too. That's the problem with having so many friends that are also content creators. Everyone ends up watching each other. Which means if you ever go live outside of your normal time, there's nobody. Like, this is weird for me. Literally, I've been live for 7 minutes over on TikTok and no one has talked. It's so odd. I can't remember the last time I've had that. I'm too frustrated to go into Lewis's live since I get censored for everything. Yeah. Anyone here? Well, he's on Lewis's live, so I'm guessing his power is back. This is so weird. I don't like this. I don't like this.
Watch with, and
Yes,
we're going to
I
watch
mean,
with you two.
Totally. It is exactly what it sounds like, Peter, which is you're going to watch the State of the Union. And I would note, you know, we'll go on live around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So you'll also watch the it's not the red carpet. I don't know. You know, when everybody's coming in, oh, there's the cabinet.
Oh, please. The current occupant. We would love if we would call this the red carpet.
It's true. The current cabinet would like it if you called it the red carpet.
Other than I'm not sure what everybody's wearing.
Yeah, I know. We don't know. We're not great on fashion. Yeah. But yes, you can watch the entire speech. And Chuck and I are not going to talk. I know people think, oh, they'll just talk the whole time. We're not going to talk the whole time. But I do think we do want to, you know, Chuck said Mystery Science Theater 3000, if you're familiar with it, meets the Manning Cast, which is we're watching literally with you. This is something that YouTube has done for some sporting events before. This is something they're doing on the political front with you guys at C-SPAN, and we got lucky that they asked us.
And we've been doing this stuff on some election nights, not to say that we're trying to compete on election nights. So we've been having a lot of fun and a lot of success doing this.
Hey, Chuck,
sort of pirate radio here.
Who can find you guys?
When doesn't Chuck Dodd talk?
Just go on
it's true.
YouTube. We're going to be on Chris's channel.
Yep, my channel, youtube.com/Chris Cillizza. You can also just search it, and I believe it's definitely on my social media.
Yeah, and if you go on my social medias, I've got it pinned up top where the links are. And again, we'll be going live at 8:30 Eastern.
And hey, Peter, we're dependent on our guy Jeremy Art, king of C-SPAN social media, to put it on the C-SPAN channels too. And I assume I get some kind of royalties for mentioning Jeremy on the air.
Well, on on YouTube, on our C-SPAN channels,
Yeah.
you will get us here on C-SPAN. You will get the sights and sounds on C-SPAN 2. No commentary, no conversation. And then we want to make sure that if people are interested in having maybe a little looser time,
Yeah.
they can go
Yes.
No ties.
and visit
See?
with
Yeah.
Chris
We didn't even
and
bring
Chuck.
ties, Peter.
Hey, I've got Alex Gangitano of Politico here on the set, and she has a question for you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Chris and Chuck.
Hi.
2 questions for you, actually. I was just thinking of another one. One, best State of the Union moment that you've experienced as journalists. And second, where does the president's State of the Union of a midterm year rank in terms of the 4 addresses he gets to give in a
Why don't
term in
you
terms of
take this-
excitingness?
Why don't you take the second one, because we were just talking about this vis-a-vis Trump, and
Yeah.
I'll then
Hey,
I'll
Rosa.
answer the first one.
I would say, look, in a first term, when there's going to be a reelect, it's that 4th State of the Union, right?
Mhm.
Well, technically the 3rd, since the very first one is not.
You are the first
Right.
person to talk in 11 minutes
In the second
on a
term,
TikTok live.
I think this.
Never
is the
seen this
biggest
before.
Mhm.
It is the midterm one. It's really
Yep.
the last chance the president has to make a case. And I say the president, meaning this is not this president, this is all presidents when you're in this point in your second term, of making your case before the public starts to look.
This
towards
is
the
this is
future.
one of the
And
weirdest
so
things
this
that's
is, I think,
ever
the last
happened
time
in the time
referendum-
that I've
this
been
election's going to be the referendum on you, good or bad. So
on
this
this
is a huge
on this
moment
app.
to sort of
This feels
reset.
like
You
the
think you
first
need to
time I ever
reset?
went
I think
live.
You look at the polling right now. This is a White House that I think needs to reset.
This feels
We'll
like
hear
the
how he
first
does
time that I have
Or
ever
it's a
gone
chance
live.
to sort of to sort of slow things down or advance an agenda. So that's why
Everywhere.
there's I have genuine mystery.
Yeah, Lewis is
about
live
this.
too.
Not
So
of the
that
general
that
topics he's
definitely
gonna talk about. But
that
we don't know.
definitely
there's what the
cuts
White House
into some
staff
of it.
wants him to focus on, and then there's what he is going.
How
to
long have I been
focus
live?
on.
12 minutes?
How much is Iran at the top front of his mind versus other issues, right?
Yeah.
How much is the tariff? That is, to me, what genuinely makes the State of the Union, which is normally such a planned event, right?
I mean,
With any
it's
other president,
abnormal.
You know exactly, even the laundry just of proposals we'd already.
It's
know
like
by
it's
now.
an abnormal
Not with this
time,
guy.
so
And it really does make.
that's
doing
fine. I
most of-
understand.
He's so far might be one of the few presidents where you're like, yeah.
Most
maybe there
people
are a
don't know-
variety of ways you
most
should
people
try to
don't.
consume a State of the Union with him, because it is
ICE
an
facility
unusual
stopped in
event
New
with
Hampshire.
him
Nice,
than
good.
it is with other ones.
And then I'll
Oh, I
just
know they'll be
pick
here.
up on Chuck, sort
It's
of
just
the-
weird.
the-
That's
he
all
said,
I'm
you know,
saying.
the last
Usually within,
one-
like,
the last State of the Union
5
of a
minutes, I've got
first
like
term
100
or the
people in here.
midterm. The one
It's just
I
weird.
Sort of remember as consequential.
It'll probably pick up
was
once we
Bill
get closer to the
Clinton in
actual
96,
time.
right? And
Everyone's probably
he's-
doing their
he's in-
stuff
he
before
was
they
in
get
a
on.
Super dissimilar.
I
position at
understand.
times. He wasn't super popular. Everybody remembers he rolls over Dole in '96, but in January
You're
of
sure?
96, and
That's a
was very
guarantee.
famously where he declared
Thanks,
the era
Liz.
of big government is over.
Mhm.
There's all this outreach to Republicans. And
Yep,
he winds
it's
up
early.
putting away Bob
Yeah.
Dole very early in that
I
race. I
think
think
that-
that kind of was like a framework.
I think he framed the New Hampshire primary, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. But look, you asked the most memorable.
There are
State of the
15K
Union.
in Dean's live right now. See, that's what I mean.
I know it's.
There
not
are a lot of
I
other
don't think
big
it was the State of
names
the
that
Union, I
people
believe
are
it was
going to
a joint
be
session speech, but either way,
watching,
it's the
unfortunately.
split screen with OJ.
I just ain't a big enough
Oh
name.
my
We had
God.
an
94.
OJ trial and a State of the
94.
See,
Union.
Chuck is so much
Peter-
older than me.
I-
He
you know what?
remembers that.
Believe it or not, you two talked a lot, and we are out of time.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
So-
Oh, but he got the important thing
Chris
in there. That
Saliza
OJ one is
And
fascinating.
Chuck Todd, they've been
Yeah.
on this network for 25 years. It's good to see you,
We'll see if we
gentlemen.
can get to
Thank
26.
you. YouTube, Watch
my friend.
with Chris Saliza and Chuck
Ah.
Todd. That's how you can find that. So
They're planning to
good
build
luck
the world's
tonight. Look
largest
forward to
AI. So
hearing
I saw that
the results.
that will
Thanks, Peter.
use
Greta Bronner, what do you
as
got for
much
us?
electricity as all of Texas times 2. Yep.
Marissa was talking
saw
about
that.
at the beginning of tonight's coverage, and that tonight's speech is about Team USA.
wild.
Well, that's literal. Take a look at this picture and this video from the White House. This is the Team USA men's hockey team, gold-winning hockey team, arriving in Washington. The men's hockey team greeted uniformed soldiers and fans at Dulles International Airport earlier today. The group arrived from Miami on Air Force 2. The plane used by Vice President J.D. Vance taking
Earthy
photographs
pickles and
before
fire
boarding
lips.
buses to meet President Trump
Mhm,
at the
mhm,
White House.
mhm.
And this is
All
the
very
picture
important things.
that the White House sent out. Champions in the House. And you can see there the 20 hockey players from
How
Team
long
USA lined up.
into
And this
his
is the
speech do you
moment
think he's
at the
going to
White
talk
House
about?
when the winner
um,
for the team, Matthew
think he's gonna
Tkachuk,
talk about
hands
Biden?
the president his gold medal.
Guesses.
Let's listen in.
Yeah, I'll put it on you. Absolutely. I'm not giving it back. I'm not giving it. I'll trade you that for a pen. Hey, that's cool. There we go.
First 5 minutes. Hey, Courtney.
President Trump at the White House today.
2
with
minutes,
the
less than
men's
5
hockey
minutes.
team, USA Today.
Yeah.
Reporting.
I would not be
that
surprised
the
if it's
invitation
within,
did go out to the
like,
women's
5
hockey
minutes.
Team, also winning gold.
Maybe
They
less than
declined
5
the
minutes.
invitation
Does he ever
to the
get
State of
anything
the
back?
Union.
Nope.
Peter?
Well, it is 8 p.m. on the East Coast.
Nope.
And good evening to you. The State of the Union speech begins in 1 hour. And we are live from the nation's capital tonight. We're live from Capitol Hill. We're live from the White House. The president.
I'm so
Mrs.
glad the
Trump, will
women's
be
team
leaving
is
the
going
White
to
House
celebrate
shortly
with Flava
with a
Flav. There you
16-block
go.
drive down Pennsylvania
It sounds like a
Avenue to
much
the
better
Capitol building.
celebration
President
than
Trump
what the
will be
men are
delivering
going
his
through.
First State of the Union address of his second term.
This is
This
going to be
will
the
his
most
sixth
boring
address to
State of the
white
Union
sessions of
address
Congress during his
ever.
times
What's up,
in office.
Jeremiah?
Now, his speech comes as
Hey, Prairie.
lawmakers remain at an impasse on the funding of the Department of Homeland Security, some of the other political issues in the background tonight, the debate and uncertainty over tariffs, the ongoing fallout over the Jeffrey Epstein investigations,
That they
the
make
public
under
dissatisfaction
100 and the
with
men make like
economy, and,
750.
of course,
Yup.
major tensions in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the speech begins
Mhm.
in 1 hour, and President Trump is
Mhm.
expected to make an
Men's
argument
hockey team
that
is a
why
disappointment. Yup.
voters should back Republicans in
Can
the
we add
November
cardiac
midterm
arrest to the
elections. We'll talk more
bingo?
about
I don't think he's going to
tonight's
talk about
address with our
cardiac
guests who are
arrest.
here in the studio with us in
Just
just a
saying.
moment.
I
But
don't
over
I
at
don't think he's
Capitol,
going to talk about
members and
cardiac
guests are
arrest.
arriving for tonight's address. 535 members of Congress. Each gets to invite
Can you
guests,
imagine being
also
these
the
people that just
diplomatic
are
corps, the
standing
Supreme
there?
Court, and the U.S.
They're just
from
standing
within.
there. How many of them do you
Hockey
think are being paid
teams.
to
Many
just stand there?
Democrats are boycotting or attending alternative events.
Just to
So
like
shortly,
be
the
like,
Senate will
ah,
gather and walk over
President
unblocked to the
Trump,
House.
I'm so
It's
happy you're
always
here.
interesting to see how they pair up and who's walking with who. It often sends a political message. And inside Statuary Hall, just off the House chamber, dozens of journalists are positioned to cover the evening. C-SPAN, of course, with live coverage throughout the evening on all three of our networks. And we're pleased now to be joined by Taylor Popliars of Spectrum News. Mr. Popliars, what's the mood up there on the Hill? What's
How's
the
that for a
read that
last
you've been
name?
getting all day?
Great to
I
be
meant,
with
can
you,
we
Peter.
manifest
This is
it?
kind of where the event is, the energy is rising. We've been seeing some members of President Trump's cabinet walking right alongside me heading into the House chamber. Secretary of State Marco Rubio walked through and was peppered with questions about whether or not the U.S. military is going to conduct strikes on Iran. Unsurprisingly, he did not respond. CIA Director John Ratcliffe was spotted, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and a range of lawmakers and their guests. I think the mood is striking because there are very heavy diplomatic foreign policy topics like Iran and whether the U.S. military will conduct these strikes hanging over this speech. There is also a strong desire from Republicans in Congress and Republican officials
Did it get
working
posted
in the
on
Trump White House
Discord
for the
that this is
president
here?
to
Yeah,
really
it
lean on
automatically
and
gets
lean
posted.
into domestic policy and his accomplishments over the last year. Like
That
the
is one of the
Nuclear
other
bill
reasons
being
I'm
signed
doing
into
it,
law last summer, and
Gravel.
his goals
Like,
to
I
get
don't
a
want
message to the
like
American people in months
1,000,
ahead
like I don't
about
want,
why
like
Republicans
I don't
should
think
fare
thousands of
well
people are
in
going to watch my
November's
live,
midterm
but if
elections.
thousands of people
But you
were
mentioned
watching
a
my
bit
live,
about
I wouldn't
Democrat
want them to have
lawmakers are
to
notably
add to
boycotting
the
this speech.
to the
There's
view
been
numbers.
counter-programming
I'd rather them
over
watch
at
through
the
this
National Mall. Some progressive groups are hosting
if people are going to
different
watch.
senators and representatives and other progressive
So we
media
can all
figures,
suffer
and they're
together.
kind of trying to do a counter-programming like we saw a couple weeks ago with the Super Bowl halftime show where conservatives had their own halftime show. So there are some mixed emotions here. There's excitement, of course, for
Yeah,
the
I think
president's
it's dumb that they're
supporters
doing an
and Democrats
alternate
who are here are acting a bit more solemn, and they're not necessarily thrilled with what
thing.
they're going to hear from the president tonight.
I'm
How's the
sorry.
press
I think
turnout
it's
tonight in
ridiculous
Staff
they're
Hall?
doing an
Hazel?
alternate thing.
You know, it's surprising. This is my 8th State of the Union or joint address that I've covered, and it's not jam-packed in here. I think it's starting to fill up as the cabinet members start to arrive, but it's notably, I would say, about 50 or 60% full, which is striking. But there are setups, of course, in the different rotundas in the House and Office Senate buildings, and there have been lawmakers and their guests making appearances there throughout the day.
And you can see from that shot there is a bit of an aisle in the middle for people to walk through.
I don't understand
Taylor,
going
what have you seen
against
walk through
the
so far?
traditional rebuttal.
One of the most notable ones for political nerds was
Trying
Texas
to
Attorney General
be,
Ken Paxton.
I don't know,
He is
blatant? I
lobbying
don't know.
really heated Republican
I mean, I don't mind them doing
running
something
against
abnormal,
Texas Republican
but I
Senator
think
John
doing
Cornyn.
alternate
He actually was the
programming
guest of Texas Congressman Troy Nehls,
right
and
after
it's rare that you see him kind of
TPUSA
amongst
did
a group of
alternate
journalists like
programming,
this, especially as a lot of conversations are focused on
doesn't do
Texas
what they
Republican
want to
Congressman
do.
Tony Gonzalez, who's
Like, I
facing
think it
a
just
big
looks
scandal
like,
right now. So that stood out
I
to
don't
me.
know.
On top of
It
the
doesn't look
cabinet
good.
members that we mentioned,
At least
there
not in
was-
my
you don't hear
opinion.
before the cameras a lot. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, she walked by a short time ago. A lot of rank and file House and Senate members with their
I mean, I
guests
know a
who
lot of people aren't going to
unsurprisingly
watch
walked
any of
through
them
this
and just
very
watch the
important hall
highlights,
and are
but
taking a bunch of pictures. So it's been notable there. But in terms of what questions these lawmakers are being peppered with, a lot are being asked about Congressman Gonzalez from Texas. He's been accused of having an
Yes,
affair with one of his
Congressman
staffers who
Gonzalez
died
should
last
step
year after setting
down
herself on fire, and it's something that the Republicans
and
are
get
talking a lot
rid
about because he's facing calls
of
to
the
resign, and if he were to resign,
and make
even
it
though
so
he's
there is
saying right now
no
that he
majority
would,
in the
that
House.
would really impact an already slim majority in the House, where every vote counts to help advance President Trump's agenda.
What
Oh
is that
wait, no,
majority
they're
right
I mean
now?
they're
Do you know?
doing a traditional rebuttal
Sorry, say that one
too,
more time.
Aaron.
What is the majority right now? What is the breakdown?
I believe Republicans
think
have
it's,
a 4-seat majority, and of course they have
I
to be
think
voting
it's
in person.
what's her
There
face,
are often absences, and we
the
have congressmen like
governor
Kentucky
of
Republican
Virginia.
Thomas Massie, who often votes against the party and has drawn a lot of public criticism from President Trump and frustration from people.
You're gonna have a
like House
drinking
Speaker Mike
game, but if I
Johnson.
take a
So
shot every time he
vote counts,
lies,
and
I'll be
Democrats are not
drunk
interested
quick.
in
Yeah.
helping Republicans in most cases.
Taylor
Or then say he
Populars,
plans to
with
speak for
Spectrum
2 hours
News.
or
Mr.
more.
Populars, have I been saying your name correctly?
You're close. It's long. It's Populars, but you've been
How
doing a great job, Gene.
much
Got it. We will
how many
remember that from
substances do you
now
think
on,
he
I
will be
promise.
on
Taylor,
in
it's a
order
pleasure
to
meet
stay
you.
up
Thank you
that
for being
long?
with us tonight. We look forward to you coming back.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, this is conversation, commentary, and your calls tonight here on C-SPAN 1. In a few minutes, we'll turn C-SPAN.
Oh, I don't think it
2
has anything
over
to do with
just the sights
distracting.
and sounds. No commentary, but that's in a little while. Stick with us for now.
I
202,
think that
if you
man
wanna
just likes
participate,
being the center of
third leg
attention.
That stool is your calls.
I think it is
202 area code for all of our
100%.
numbers.
He's getting into
748-8214,
Junior's stash. That's
Republicans,
true.
748-8920
Hey, Ambrosia.
Democrats, 748-8922 for independents. And you can send a text message as well if you can't get through on your phone lines. 202-748-8903 is the text number. If you do send a text message, please include your first name and your city. If you would, we'd appreciate that. And we'll be taking those calls in just a few minutes. But we've got two excellent journalists here on the set with us. We've got Alex Gangitano of Politico.
They've been
Richard
he's been
Schultz
talking
of
to
the
these
New
two
York
people
Post.
for a while
what's
now,
the
and he still has to
headline,
look
Alex,
down
going
to get
into
their
tonight?
names.
What is the headline an hour before the speech in your view?
I think the split screen of what we're looking at here, I think the White House would want their headline to be patriotism. We're going into America 250. The president has ideas and big ideas for our country. And I think on the other side, the headline is he has a low approval rating right now. Affordability has not been tackled. And there's other underlining questions that Americans
You're
want
watching the
him
People's
to
State of the
answer today.
Union
And I think those
on the
questions
tube.
are largely
Is that
as
that
kind
you
of
mean the
Jeff
one
Todd
that
alluded
that
to,
some
we
of
don't
the
have that laundry
congressmen
list
and
of
stuff are
what
putting
he
forth,
wants to
or
do this
or
year.
or
I mean, remember going
Midas
into
Touch or
some
whoever
former
is putting
President
it
Biden's
forth?
speeches, you could almost
Yeah.
envision exactly what he was going to say and which policies he was going to tout. Tonight, we don't know. Is he going to come out with a new idea for the economy? Is he going to come out with an announcement on foreign policy or on a new idea for how to implement his trade policies? And, you know, he's a president that always keeps us guessing, but especially tonight, I think Americans are looking for what new thing are you bringing
He's not going to bring anything.
Impact how I feel about.
He is going to whine and complain and pretend that he did amazing things for the last year. And then he's just going to say that amazing things are on the way.
Right
That is
now,
all
it's
he's
a lot
going to
of,
do.
Excitement whether Trump can kick off the midterms for the Republican Party. The margins are so slim, as Taylor alluded to. Democrats just need to pick up as few as 3 seats to win back the House, 4 seats in the Senate, and it will just take a few districts to flip, and then in the Senate, just a few seats. And Democrats are feeling really optimistic. They think that they
He
can,
says the
they
same
can
drivel
definitely
every
take back
time.
the
Yep.
House. They're even feeling a little
Because you
bullish about
know
the
the
Senate,
half of
which,
his speech,
traditionally would be
by
weak for
itself
them.
is
But
probably
they
like
look at
30
President
minutes
Trump's
long.
approval ratings. They look at
The
how
rest of
voters
it
have
is going to
responded
be
to him and
him
things
look
that
like every time he looks up,
have
it's
been
going to
good for
be
him,
it's
such
going
as
to be him just
immigration, and they see it
going
with
on
big
some
openings. So Democrats tonight are hoping that they come out looking better because Trump is undisciplined and he is doing things that won't set up the Republicans for success. But on the flip side of that, Republicans, especially the White House, they feel that they've done so much on the economy. They feel like he's had this whirlwind first term. He's done things on.
How can they feel they've done so much on the economy? They have destroyed the economy.
Healthcare
Oh
in
my
terms of
gosh.
Trump RX. They've set up these
Trump
things called
RX.
these
You mean
Trump
good
accounts to
RX?
help young children
With a
save
new
for the
name?
future with $1,000 at the time of their birth. So they feel like they have a really good record to tout, and they just need to do a better job of selling it. And then the poll numbers will come around, and the midterms will be better.
Alex Gangitano, we talked to a speechwriter a little bit earlier, Don Baer of the Clinton speech team. What do you expect in tonight's speech?
Yeah, it was interesting. Something we discussed with Don was how there's
Gonna
sometimes
start-
conflicting
It's going to
interests
start
within
in
the White
48
House
minutes,
of
yeah.
what should we address and how should we
It's
address
the
it.
emperor's new
And we
clothes
have
and
seen this
nobody is
White House,
listening to the
Chief of
kid
Staff
who
Susan
says,
Wiles is,
"It's true."
A political operative who knows
How long
to
into his
sell
ramble
the
before he
president's
starts
agenda.
in
She
on the
was
Supreme Court?
obviously extremely
Oh,
successful
gosh.
in his last campaign. Somebody
Second he
like that
talks
has
about
a
tariffs,
political
whenever the
vision.
hell that
How
is.
do we message? And so Republicans
With
can
them
take
right
the win
there?
tonight. And then there's others like a Stephen Miller is so focused on immigration. We'll be hearing
He'll ramble about
immigration,
sharks
but
and
in
boats
what
or
lens
windmills,
do
then
they
blame
tone
Biden
down,
and Hillary. Yup.
some of the rhetoric after what we saw in some
true.
states and ICE raids. We have some other
true.
policy advisors of the president that will want him to be angry about what happened to his tariff agenda in the Supreme Court. How much does he take that into consideration?
I'd say the
And then
SCOTUS
the
rant is
economy,
8
again,
minutes in
we know
after
that
Biden
there's
in the first
some
5.
more
Yeah.
populist mindsets
Yeah.
within this
Yeah,
White
yeah,
House
yeah, yeah,
who
yeah.
want him to nail down issues like not having corporate interests buy up housing, and how do you prevent that? And then some more traditional economic minds who want him to look at some approaches that Congress could take on that's more of a conservative mindset. And so I think it will be interesting to see which of those interests the president ends up talking about tonight.
I'm going to go with none of them. I'm going to go with none of them.
Peter, we've been talking about the
None.
president's speech tonight, the length of it. We're expecting 2 hours from the president tonight. And a reminder to our viewers that after the president finishes his remarks, there will be a Democratic response.
2
Tonight, that will be delivered
hours.
by Virginia's first female governor, Abigail Spanberger, who won in 2020.
2 hours.
Former
What
CIA
the hell?
operations officer and former member of Congress. She will be delivering the Democratic rebuttal tonight from the old Capitol in Colonial Williamsburg. That is the setting for tonight's remarks from Abigail Spanberger. She won the 2025 gubernatorial election, beating the
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to
then-Lieutenant
last
Governor
2
Winston
hours if
Earl
I'm being honest.
Sears, 57.6% to 42.2%. She won on the
Hey, Laura.
issue of affordability. And according to WWBT,
What are they giving him to keep
she's
him
going to
speaking for
focus
2
on
hours?
affordability and
Kelsey,
criticism
you
of
know,
President Trump
that is a
as
wonderful
expected tonight.
question.
Those will be her central themes.
That is a
She says she
wonderful,
plans to address
wonderful
the cost of
question.
housing, healthcare,
I don't know.
energy, and groceries, all the issues that she campaigned on. So look for her entire remarks on the C-SPAN networks. Finally, I'll just end with some color inside the chamber. We're waiting for the House lights to come on in that chamber. That is where all the
Can't stand to
members,
hear
the
him for
guests, the
30
president,
seconds.
the
Truth. Hey,
cabinet,
Minnie.
the Supreme Court justices.
What could he
all
possibly
gathered
talk
on the
about for
House
2
side of the
hours? It's going to be a
Capitol.
jumbled
Ben
mess.
Jacobs, who's an
Yup.
independent journalist, saying that in the House chamber right now, there is a seat near the front with a cardboard sign on it with Al Green written in all caps. So Al Green, the congressman from Texas, who stood up and shook his cane at the president last year, is trying to reserve a front row seat for tonight. Peter?
And of course, as we discussed, there are no reservations. You cannot hold a seat, but if it's on the Democratic side, maybe the Democrats are respecting that and holding that for Al Green. Well, we've been fortunate to have two guests with us all night, Alex Gangitano of Politico, Marissa Schultz of the New York Post. Now, it's going to get very busy in the next 45 minutes. We've got the president leaving the White House. We've got the Senate gathering and then walking over to the House. We have the House lights coming up. And
You know,
then
it's
we have
going
all
to
the billing
be
about, and then, of course,
it's
the
going to be
arrival of the
rough.
president,
I'll
et cetera.
admit.
So it's going to get a
If I
little
didn't feel
chaotic
it
here
necessary
in
to
the next
to
45
listen to
minutes.
what
But to help us set
BS
the
he's
scene
going to
from
spew, I wouldn't
1600
do this in
Pennsylvania
any way,
Avenue
shape, or
is
form. But
Alex
like,
Eisenstadt of
you know that this is
Axios.
going to be talked about
Mr.
tomorrow.
Eisenstadt, what's
So I
been the
kind of
mood
need
in
to
the
know
White
what's
House
being talked
today?
about.
What have you learned about tonight's speech?
But normally I
What-
probably
what
would
this
try
speech
and ignore it.
is, there's no question that it's a big moment for the president. Right?
It's not a
He's-
big
he needs to
moment.
turn things around. It's
Being
not that
informed takes
things
commitment,
are
right,
necessarily
Anna?
Nosediving for him.
Damn this
But it's
being
an important
informed
moment,
shit.
right? His numbers are depending on his poll numbers are depending on which pollster you look at are either in the low 40s or mid to high 30s. And so this is one of the perhaps the biggest audience that Trump will have before the midterm election. And so this is his moment.
Can't stand to
This
do
is
this
his
on my
opportunity
own. Well, I
to
appreciate you
speak
being here,
directly
man.
to tens of millions of voters to describe his agenda.
I'll probably end up
and how it
restarting
compares
the
and
TikTok
contrasts
live
to
right
that of
before it
Democrats.
starts.
Alex, will you be watching the speech?
Just 'cause
coming
it'll
down
push
to
it
the
out
White House?
again.
You're going to make your way down here to the Capitol.
So everyone knows.
You know, actually, to be honest with you, I think I'm going to watch from home. Pretty good view. Maybe I'll watch on C-SPAN, actually. So.
Well, Alex Gangitano of Politico.
We have
here's
each other,
a
that's
question
right.
For you, Alex. Hang
Hey,
on.
Alex.
Alex to Alex. Here we go.
I'm curious, what is the general vibe at the White House right now? Have you seen?
Did you make any bingo cards?
aides walking
You
around,
know,
anybody in the
I
driveway
didn't.
Wanting to gaggle with reporters, or what's the mood over there?
Yeah, you know, they're.
We've been
like
talking
every
about what do you
effort,
think it'll
they're
say,
gonna
but do you
head
think he'll
over,
bring? Oh, he'll
see,
definitely,
bring the
Ashley.
president,
Hundo
to leave
percent.
The premises. You're definitely hearing,
100%.
helicopters overhead, a lot of sirens. Definitely a big security presence here in D.C. as there is typically on.
He will
State of the Union
absolutely
nights.
bring up Iran.
But one of the trademarks of the Susie Wiles operation is they're pretty
My hubby says he will
unshakable,
watch.
right?
I will
We
be
saw
watching
this
the
during
People's State
first
of the
year the
Union.
administration.
You know,
Both sides
Deb,
saw this during the campaign. That
I-
they exhibit and they exude
my
a
problem
lot
with the
of
People's State of the
confidence even
Union is it
when
feels
things
like
appear to be
what
getting pretty
TPUSA
bumpy.
did for the
They've
Super Bowl.
shown a lot of confidence, at least
And I
on the
didn't agree with
outside.
that,
And it's
so
gonna
I
be
don't
interesting to
feel
see
like I
how
can
that takes
I
shape
can
over the remainder of this year.
Alex, Marissa Schultz.
I feel I would feel a little hypocritical
She
to
has a
support
question for you.
the other
Hi,
one.
Alex. Yesterday,
To support
President
this.
Trump said that it would be a long speech. If you were guessing or predicting, how long do you think is long tonight?
Thank you
So
for
apparently
watching because I
last year
can't. I'm
he
just so
went
tired of
something
it. I
like
feel
an
you,
hour,
JC.
45 minutes.
I feel you.
So if he's suggesting it's going to be longer than that, you'd have to assume it'd be 2 hours, maybe 2 hours plus. The question though is for him, if you're starting the speech at 9 p.m.
I just wanted the State of the
that
Union
means
so I
you're
can
getting
laugh at him.
pretty late
Think he'll
into
talk
the
about
evening,
Renee.
at least on the East Coast, and so there is some risk.
I don't think he'll
in
talk
this
about Renee
speech
or
going that long because you could
or
be
Alex.
losing some viewers the longer you get.
Alex Eisenstadt of Axios.
Oh, I
we
know
very
it's put
much
on by
appreciate
Midas
being
Touch.
With us to help set the scene from the White
That's one
House.
of the
Now, in
issues
just a few
that I
minutes,
have.
we expect
Like,
the president to be
it's
leaving
literally
the
almost a
White
carbon
House in
copy
just a few
of
minutes. We expect the Senate to be gathering
of a
in their chamber
TPUSA
to make a
alternate
short walk
programming.
across the
It's just
Capitol
now it's a
to the House
Midas Touch
chamber.
alternate
And it's
programming.
always interesting to see how they walk across. You know, they walk across in pairs, so it might be a D and an R, or you know, they're sending a message
Yeah.
when they do that walk across. So we'll be watching that as well, and then in the next 10, 20 minutes, the House lights will come on. And then we'll see the
And look,
about on the floor.
I don't blame anyone
et cetera,
for
et
watching
cetera.
it.
So
Just like
if we
I
cut
didn't
off
blame
that point,
anybody
we
for
don't need
watching the
to. We're just
TPUSA
trying to
one. I
make sure
disagreed
we
with
do
it.
Everything
I disagreed with their reasoning,
all the
but
pageantry and all the events. Emerson, Athens, Ohio, on our Republican line. You have been very patient, Emerson. Please go ahead with your question or comment.
Oh, thank you. I'm very excited for the president's speech tonight. I have a friend who was actually at the Capitol. His name's Jay Edwards, a very good friend of mine. I'm really excited for him. I'm very happy for what the president has done for our country. The wars are over. Palestine has gotten better. Israel's gotten better. I am generally excited. But I have a question. What do you think the midterms will look like in Ohio next year? Does Sherrod Brown win back from John Huston? Does John Huston cruise to victory? It will be a very interesting night. So thank you very much.
Emerson, are you a college student in Athens?
I am a college student here at Ohio University. Go Bobcats.
And what are you studying? Emerson?
yeah, war's over.
Actually, meteorology, but I have a love for politics.
Emerson,
Palestine has gotten better. What planet does he think that Palestine has gotten better?
Emerson about his question about basically the midterms and maybe the focus on Ohio, a state that President Trump has won 3 times.
Yes, so in order to win back the Senate, Democrats need to win four seats. And the 4 seats that Democrats are targeting and feel like they could really flip.
When is the speech? 39 minutes is supposed to start.
Maine,
Ample.
where Susan Collins is up for re-election, likely going against Janet Mills, but there's a primary there as well. There's Alaska, where you have Dan Sullivan up for re-election.
This was
And
the best. I'm going to do the best State of the Union that's ever been done. In fact, there was never a State of the Union before Donald J. Trump actually walked into the building. Before they called it the State of the Non-Union, and then I came, and now it's the State of the Union.
Early, of course, it's only February. And if I were...
And I had 5 million people in the building to watch me.
This is a seat that
No one's ever seen crowds like this before.
Republicans have an inherent advantage there of having an incumbent, but as we've seen before, if the president's approval rating is low and if it stays at this low level, that can trickle down and really impact turnout in a place like Ohio, and it could keep Republicans at home.
Think we'll get yelled at again? Oh,
Now,
yeah.
the Senate has turned on their lights
yeah.
and they've come alive in their chamber, and they will be gathering and lining up there. You can see the lines start to form. I see Elizabeth Warren down there, and here comes, this is through Statuary Hall, on its way into the House chamber. It looks like the astronauts, the Artemis astronauts that they were invited, that Mike Johnson, I believe we heard earlier that Mike Johnson invited the Artemis astronauts on. And so people are starting to make their way down that middle aisle that we showed
The best
you
until the
earlier.
next one.
So the Senate,
Which will be even more incredible.
They're lining up, and they're
Yep.
going to go out the door in the back that you cannot
Yep,
see.
yep,
and
yep.
That leads straight to the House chamber through Statuary Hall. And so they're gathering, and we will watch that once they get into Statuary Hall. We'll keep an eye on it. We're also expecting the President and Mrs. Trump to leave the White House very shortly. Drew is in Chicago. There's the White House door. We'll wait for him to come out, and then we will listen in. But in the meantime, let's hear from Drew in Chicago.
Hey, good evening.
What's up, AJ?
Irrespective of what the president says on like the economy or immigration or anything like that, I don't think there's anything that he can do to take attention away from the Epstein scandal, especially where it seems like right now his DOJ is actively protecting an international child sex trafficking ring. So the question associated with this is there anything that the president can do in this speech?
Did you see how Jesse Waters?
and
Jesse Waters is a piece of
Thank you, Drew in Chicago.
excrement.
Alex, we might cut you off, but go ahead and start to answer.
Yeah, I think to Drew's point, there's not a lot I think that the president can say and wants to say. I think that's the biggest point here. We've heard the president actually from his own mouth say, I'm tired of talking about this. This is a Democrat issue. It's not my
Oh yeah,
issue
he's not going to
anymore."
talk
And so
about
I
the
think,
about the
president is
e-files.
going to
Not even a
avoid
tiny
talking
bit.
about the Epstein files,
He is
talk
not
about
going to talk
the
about them
situation,
at
with the
all.
Department of Justice and how they've handled it. But I think Democrats especially want to keep it at the forefront. We know they'll be wearing these pins. When they leave Statuary Hall, if you see these reporters lined up, when the senators are entering and then House members will leave that way along with senators, they could talk to the press about whatever
Yes.
they want
Yep.
after the speech.
I am over
and
there
hear
as well.
From them saying that
If
they
you
want
want to
to
see
hear
a
more about
bigger
the Epstein
shot, you
files.
might
And
want to
so I
go
think
over to the
Democrats, at
tube.
any chance they get, are gonna
Right
wanna
now
get
it's
in
a
front of
smaller
media
shot
and
because
bring it up again.
there's not
We
much
also
going
know
on, but
that
once it
Congressman
starts, I'm going to
Ro
flip
Khanna
it and I'm going to be
Thomas Massie will
little
be
and the
sitting
screen's
together
going to
as
be
a show of
big. So,
solidarity. The two
should we guess how many
congressmen who were
truths he'll let
behind,
slip? Too many.
forcing the DOJ
I've had a
to
few
release
glasses of
those
wine,
files.
beware.
That will be something notable to Trump. Will they be in those aisle seats? You know, Peter, I love seeing who's in the aisle seats that the president kind of acknowledges and takes note of. Is Thomas Massie going to want to be front and center?
I
Or
heard
Ro
Thomas
Khanna,
Massie
who
is
could
sitting
be
with
a
Ro
candidate
Khanna.
for 2028 for the White House. Is he going to want to have to, get in front of the president, maybe shake his hand, have something to say? Here's he is at the White House again. Are we going to also hear from the president in front of the press?
I don't know,
And
Rosa.
will the press ask him?
I don't know.
Are you going to talk about the Epstein files? I think that's a lot of Americans like Drew want to hear that.
And we're looking at the South Portico. That's a live shot of the South Portico. That looked like Stephen Miller walking out there. I don't want to say that out loud unless it's not. But this is, so you see a lot of activity, a lot of people coming out of that White House. We haven't seen the president and Mrs. Trump yet, but there is a gaggle there, correct? Waiting outside
gaggle.
The South
There's a
entrance, South
gaggle.
Portico. President and Mrs. Trump will get into the Beast, aka the limousine. I expect them within the next minute or so, and we will listen in. And then they will.
It's always
take
about the
60
gaggle.
blocks down to Pennsylvania Avenue. They-
Streaming
so we
the
know
actual
exactly
State
how
of the
long that
Union.
drive
Yeah.
is going to be. Earlier
Yep.
through Statuary
Yeah,
Hall.
we're just
outside the
gonna
House
just gonna
chamber,
keep this
we
going. I'm
saw
gonna restart it
Johnson
once it's
and
about to
his
start.
entourage come through, so we
Just
know
so it
he's
gets
making his
pushed.
way into the,
Gets that initial push again, but
leadership offices behind the House
yes,
chamber or into the
more
House
like a
chamber
giggle.
itself
Yeah,
to do
definitely
some
more
work.
like a giggle.
Aiden, Miami, go ahead. We might have to interrupt you.
Hello. First of all, I just wanted to say I've been a fan of C-SPAN for a long time. I've been watching since 2 years ago.
I'll catch the low lights tomorrow morning. I feel you, Connor.
So I'm a Democrat.
Both
and
here and over
I
there.
just am just
Over there will be
going to
probably
see
bigger
the
than over here,
because
and you
I
never
don't
know
how
what this
big the
app's
mess
gonna
is
do with
gonna
it.
be,
But
or if he's gonna actually speak up on the
I'm gonna
major issues
restart
like the
over on
files,
TikTok.
like the economy, or even
I'm not gonna
mention
restart over the tube, but it's gonna be
Iran.
bigger.
Aiden, do you think, as a Democrat,
Good
that it is
freaking
important
evening,
for you
Ash.
to watch a Republican State of the Union?
Well, we need to see the State of the Union. Even though I disagree with the way the union is going, we have to see how it's going, because in
Even though I
2026,
disagree with how this union's going, we need to see how this union's going.
we win both houses and both parts of both the Senate and the House, and I hope we get a good candidate for 2028. So, as you guys mentioned, that this is a good starting off point for campaigns, not just for the midterms, but for 2028. So I saw something about, obviously, Massie and Ro Khanna, and the big question I have is, I noticed first with Tillis and then Green, and now with Massie, is that one moment that a member of the GOP starts thinking about the country over party, and even over President Trump, that they get shunned. And I'm just curious about, I'm young, I just about to graduate from high school, I'm getting into college, I'm just generally, just like many people in my generation, we're just confused, we're tired, and we just
Oh, you're
wanna
not the only one who's
find a way
confused,
to get
kid.
better.
Aiden, we really appreciate your calling in. We really appreciate hearing your voice, especially somebody who's just getting ready to graduate high school. Hey, Greta, we've got about 30 seconds, I think, before we
I want to add to what Aiden just said, because Thomas Massie put out on X his view. This is where he's going to be sitting tonight. The Republican congressman who's teamed up with Ro Khanna, and reports are that they'll be sitting together at the State of the Union. He says, this is my view tonight at the State of the Union from the Republican side of the aisle.
And that's the Republican working table there in the House. But Marissa, I want to go to you and talk about what Aiden had to say. We might have to cut you off. But he talked about if a Republican comes out against the president, then he gets shunned. Might be a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, so what President Trump has really done in his, especially in his second term, which is quite different from his first term, is he's coalesced the Republican Party behind him. I think back to the
I mean, 9 is when the actual
had,
speech
Someone like
starts.
Paul Ryan, who would speak out against Trump on occasion. You had people at that time like Mitt Romney's. You had Republicans in the House and in the Senate who were not 100% aligned with Trump and would say so. A lot of those people are gone now. And the biggest example of that of late, as you suggested, was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
So the wake him up at
Congresswoman from Georgia.
9:30. I mean, you know, Kelsey, I guess that's a possibility.
She ran. I remember interviewing her.
What do you think happened?
Well, she spoke out against him, and she spoke out on an issue that was very sensitive to the White House, and that was the Epstein files. So she took it upon herself to really align herself.
There go all the senators.
The victims of Jeffrey Epstein, and she cast a deciding vote or signature on this Epstein Transparency Act with Ro Khanna, with Thomas Massie. It was mostly Democrats, but they needed a few Republicans.
How many times?
To get on
We've already
board
decided
to,
we think within the first
floor
2 to 5 minutes
And she was one of those
he's gonna
Republicans, and I think,
bring up Biden.
One thing about President Trump that I think is clear is he likes loyalty. He likes people who are in his corner.
He
we
likes
saw that
blind
split a little bit with
loyalty,
this
you mean?
recent Supreme Court tariff
Not just
ruling where he
loyalty,
wasn't happy
blind
with the Supreme
loyalty.
Court justices that he appointed voting against him. So he's been able to really coalesce power in his second term in a way that was unlike the first. And if people do get out of line, if people speak out against him, he does. They're sort of short on their time.
Okay, Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff, just walked out of the south entrance of the White House. We expect the president in less than 30 seconds. We expect the Senate in Stat Hall in about 30 seconds. They just lined up and left.
Oh,
the
the
doors
doors
have been open.
are being like
Let's listen
opened.
in at the White House.
That means
see
the
if we can
president
hear
must be
anything.
coming out soon. And of course, there's helicopters. Nope, that's not him.
Alex Gangitano of Politico. We are waiting on the president and Mrs. Trump. Will he stop, do you think? And
He tends to. Oh, there's the vice president also going in. He tends to stop and want to chat with the media. Even if we get one sentence out of him. He did say.
Lindsay, come on, you're strictly going to the tube. Okay, Rosa. Oh, he just walked right in.
And it is 16 blocks almost exactly to the Capitol building. He will pull up to the east side of the Capitol. There's a porte cochere, a little overhang that he will get out of. Now, in the Statuary Hall, you can
John
see there
Cornyn.
went John Cornyn. They mentioned, we heard earlier that Ken Paxton was there. Wes Hunt, of course, the third candidate, is a member of Congress, so he could very well be there. as
Maybe
well.
they'll have
But
him
this
in
is
a
the
short
Senate
leash.
going in. There's, is that Elizabeth
I mean,
Warren?
I don't
Is it
think they have the ability to keep him on any leash. That's the problem.
What was Peter Welch
The
doing?
man is so mentally not there that I don't think he has the ability to stay on
President came out with. Peter Walsh was there with Roger Marshall and some
On
other Republicans,
task.
but definitely notable that a Democrat was there.
That looked like Lisa Murkowski and Andy Kim, a DNR,
probably took a lot. Oh yeah,
walking in together.
100%.
There's John Fetterman, of course.
Fetterman was dressed in a suit.
There's Susan Collins. Who was that next to her? Did you see, was that Michael Bennett?
I thought it was Michael Bennett.
Yeah, you thought it was too, of Colorado? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and the
And this is the staff.
And it looks like a traffic jam, too.
Yes.
It does, yes. Now, all the senators, they will walk. Maybe they haven't let them in yet.
Right.
Because they haven't turned on the lights and maybe they like to walk in with the lights on and everything. But now we can see the president coming up, and now it's a little crowded in Stat Hall there. You can see that's, 25 steps from the House chamber.
A lot of politicians aren't going biggest boycott in history. Well, good.
Is the president has not endorsed in that Texas GOP
liked all
primary.
three, right?
He likes all three. He is friendly with Attorney General Paxton. He also has a relationship with Congressman Hunt. And then John Cornyn, who's the sitting senator, has not been endorsed. And from my hearing and reporting is that that's given some GOP leadership, some GOP donors a lot of heartburn about what could happen in this.
That's a wonderful question that I don't have an answer to.
Runoff, and are any of the Democrats formidable candidates?
Thank you for the heart, mate.
That depending on whichever Republican wins, could they take them on?
Now, we're still waiting on members of the cabinet to come in. Now, we heard earlier that Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence.
Guys, if you're new here, make sure to throw a follow, tap that nose, do all the things that help make it so more people can come, so we can all suffer together.
We're waiting on the military, the Supreme Court justices. Out of the 9, it'll be interesting to see who does come. Now, Samuel Alito usually does not attend these events. However, there's speculation that this is his last year. So he has a book coming out in October. So who knows? Here's Speaker Johnson.
And United States Senate.
You really need to watch them shake hands with everybody. It just started, yes. Guys, I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna restart over here on TikTok. So just jump back right in. I'm gonna stop and restart.
Well, the House lights have come on. We're about 25 minutes away from the start of the State of the Union speech, and we are going to say goodbye to C-SPAN 2 now, and we are no longer going to simulcast. Over on C-SPAN 2, you can see the sights and sounds, no commentary, no input whatsoever.
Oh,
it's just
we got to go there.
All the sights and sounds of the State of the Union. You'll be able to watch everything and not have to listen to anybody. But we'd prefer, of course, you'd stay here with us, because here on C-SPAN, we have conversation, we have commentary, we have your calls, and we have 2 excellent journalists with us here tonight, Alex Gangitano of Politico and Marissa Schultz of the New York Post. They will be with us until the start of the speech, and we will kind of annotate and comment on what is going on the House floor. We expect the president to be arriving very shortly, and let's look in, see if we can see anything right now. There we go. John Barrasso, Dick Durbin. Is that Dick Durbin with him, I think?
Yeah.
With J.D. Vance right behind him?
Dick Durbin.
Yeah,
retiring.
that is. He's retiring this year.
And in leadership, so.
Strong D, he's been very critical of the Trump administration.
The Democrat side does look sparse from all the House members that aren't there.
There's somebody getting a picture taken with the vice president. I don't recognize him, I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
I'm sure this is a bit of a homecoming for Vice President Vance, seeing all of his former Senate colleagues that he's built relationships with for years.
You also have to wonder what's going through his head of, would this be a State of the Union I'd be delivering one day if he has political aspirations.
God,
beyond
no.
this.
It looks like the Joint Chiefs are arriving. It
Oh,
was
here we
interesting
go.
when
We're
talked
going to
about
this one.
Eisenstadt a little bit earlier. He
That's better. I don't want to hear them. I don't want to hear them. I was trying to find one that wouldn't have it, so... Guys, make sure if you're just getting in here, please tap that nose and join, and if you're new, follow all the stuff that helps push it out to more people while we're waiting. Kangaroo Congress. No argument there. No argument there. And share. Hey, party. You know, Logic Cat, I can't argue that. Cannot argue that at all. Hey, Laura. I hope no one's clothes remind him of a couch. Huh? Oh, man. You know, you never know. You never know with him. I thought the elders were supposed to be in bed at this point. Oh, I guarantee they got something that in them that is helping. Guarantee they got something in them that's helping. Thank you. Thank you for the confetti. This looks stuffy. I'll be interested to see what kind of empty seats we got when this is all, when they all finally sit down. Is John Barron gonna make an appearance? You never know, Beth. You never know. You never know. I mean, there's a million different places that have this going right now. Komodo Dragon Girl. Like, literally every news station is showing this right now. Okay, Rosa. I'm not too worried. In general, I'm just going to be watching and talking about how stupid all of his comments are, but if necessary, I appreciate that. I'm asking myself how many of them are in the files. Far too many. Gotta get some wine. That is a pretty common response, party. I can understand that response. I don't blame anybody. Everyone's getting buzz. Yup. See how long I last. See how long anyone lasts. I was thinking starting it right now would get a bunch of people to start showing up. Still is happening slowly. I think people just don't really want to watch this. Man, I wish those 33,000 people watching on the channel I'm watching on would come and watch on my channel. The heck? My place is so much more fun. Here we get to a muck. Yep. When a majority of people need a substance, you know it's bad. That's true. Oh, so badly, Garpu. Still stuck at work. It's fair, Gravel. It's fair. That's totally fair. If I started drinking during this administration, I wouldn't be able to stop. Also true. Everyone do what you got to do. You know, that's the truth all the time. You know what I'm saying? That is just the constant truth. Yeah. My problem is that everybody is streaming this right now. So I'm fighting with a lot of big names. So unless we can pull all of our friends over. Yeah. I appreciate that, Deb. Thank you, Ash. Hey, Shell. The real question is, how long do you think Trump is going to take to walk down the aisle? And do you think Democrats are going to shake his hand on that left side? That is the rumor, LA. That is the rumor. And I don't know if he can stand for more than 15 minutes, especially at this time of night. That would be, you know, that would make this literally a night to remember if that happened, Kelsey. That would make it a night to remember, 100%. Julie, I haven't seen him, but who knows? We have better jokes we can actually read because chat isn't flying by. Also true, Aaron. I mean, I doubt as well, Leslie, but I'll be interested to see. Yes, I am, Garpu. I sure am. If it's 2 hours, dude, I'm gonna be shocked, honestly. The slurring will be so bad by the end. I will be amazed if the slurring isn't bad in the beginning.
The joint session will come to order. The chair appoints as members of the committee on the part of the House to escort the President of the United States into the chamber. The gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise. The gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. McClain. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. The gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Reschenthaler. The gentleman from Utah, Mr. Moore. The gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Houchin. The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hearn. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar. The gentleman from California, Mr. Liu. The gentlewoman from Washington, Mrs. Delbene. Gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. Dingle.
They're stalling? No, they're not stalling. This is what they always
President
do.
of the Senate, at the direction of that body, appoints the following senators as members of the committee on the part of the Senate to escort the President of the United States into the House chamber. The senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune. The senator from Wyoming, Mr. Barrasso. The senator from Arkansas, Mr. Cotton. The senator from West Virginia,
My
Mrs.
understanding is
Capito.
Johnson's really
The
short.
senator from Oklahoma, Mr. Langford.
Did he
The
just say
senator
they're
from
going to
South
carry him? Yeah, they're going
Carolina,
to carry
Mr.
him.
Scott. The senator from New York, Mr. Schumer. The senator
They're
from
gonna carry
Illinois,
him.
Mr. Durbin. And the senator from Minnesota, Ms. Klobuchar.
The members of the escort committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
I feel you, Chrissy G. Every time I hear them talk, I feel a little nauseous. I feel a little nauseous every time I hear them talk.
Mr. Speaker, the acting dean of the Diplomatic Corps.
I don't see Supreme Court justices yet. It really is nails on a chalkboard, Michelle. It really is. Every time Mike Johnson speaks, I want to go wah 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 wah. Yeah. Thank you, Rosa. Guys, if you haven't tapped that nose, please tap it a few times. Especially if you're new here. If you haven't followed, please follow. Join the fan club. All that stuff helps push it out to other people. Also, if you want to see if you want to see the video a little bit bigger, I'm also live over on the tube. You get the same interaction, just a little bit better. All those people. Yeah. I know, Julie. I know. Who's the official diaper changer? Oh, you know.
To justices of the Supreme Court.
Yep. Let's see what justices came. How many showed up? Only 4 justices showed up? Whoa. 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 Usually all of them. I mean, is that a first? I can't say whether it's a first, but 4 out of 9? Like less than half? I've never seen it where less than half show up. Only 4 of the 9 Supreme Court justices came to the State of the Union. I'm not sure if it means anything because it's not like it's just the conservative. Thomas wasn't there. I saw Sotomayor. So it was Sotomayor. What's his face? The head of it. Why? Whose brain? I cannot. Roberts. Sotomayor. No, Gorsuch, Thomas, Alito, Brown. There's one more that's not there because there's 9 and there's only 4 there. Keegan. Who is the woman? There's 2 women there. The SCOTUS. So Sotomayor and Barrett. Were the 2 women. Yeah, Amy Coney Barrett. I almost called Sotomayor Klobuchar. Oh. Don't do that. Don't do that, Dennis. I'm kind of surprised to see Sotomayor there. Me too. Me too. Ah. The First Lady.
Mr. Speaker, the President's Cabinet.
So Republicans must have gone onto the Democratic side so they could shake hands on both sides. Because I don't think the people on that left side are Democrats. You do like that bet? This is better than it is better. It is better. Yeah, I mean, she's hugging people over on that side. There is no way. They spread out. They spread out. Democrats aren't even standing up. You see all those ones not standing? Yeah. 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 Why wasn't she fired? Because the person in charge of her is worse than she is. I mean, it looks like a lot of the Dems aren't even there. Did you see Mark Kelly turn away? I didn't. I mean, I think some people are going to. I mean, Al Green is there, so there's a good chance that something is going to happen. It's their job to show up. No, it's not. They don't have to show up. There's nothing in their job description that says that they have to be there. Just as corrupt? False. I'm sorry. You cannot get me to believe that they are just as. They're bad. Many of them are bad. But just, no. No. AP. Chrissy. Doing something? What is disrupting gonna do other than make him talk longer than 2 hours? I want him to be done as fast as humanly possible. I mean, you're not going to get me to disagree that our Congress has failed us. That I will 100% agree with. Wasn't this supposed to, nope, it's supposed to start 3 minutes ago. 9 is when it starts. So the cabinet comes in and then he comes in. They are not all, Julie, but a good chunk of them are, yeah. Not all, though. There are quite a few that don't take any. Well, 93% isn't all. And there are a lot of new ones that are running that won't take any. I'm interviewing them, in fact. What's the rally outside? The people's whatever? I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. It feels like TPUSA 2.0. Yeah, what point does Kennedy? Oh my gosh, Ambrosia. What's up, Lewis? I mean, again, they have the right to do it. I just don't agree with it. I mean, sit out. That's fine. And have a conversation about it. But to have another rally, because it's Midas Touch that's doing it. How is Midas Touch doing this any different than TPUSA doing what they did? It's called the primaries, Bruins. You can't force them out. You can vote them out, which we should. Vote them out. What the primaries are for. %23% on average vote in primaries. We got to get more to do it. News saying more than 30 Dems aren't there. Hopefully it's more. Dems make their own rules for primaries. No. No, they don't. Bernie Sanders is a whole different situation. And it's a whole different problem.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Not to say that the DNC didn't do some dirty stuff too, but it was not very different than Congress and the Senate. You're talking presidential election, which is a whole different ball game and a whole different issue. Well, arguably, DNC and the GOP can make their own rules. They're businesses. They're not government entities. They're corporations. I mean, they can. Thus, they're all corrupt. Okay. Well, then I guess we're not getting anything done. Ever. Because the only way we're going to fix things is to work through the system. Because we haven't been working through the system. 23% of people vote in the primaries or less. Yeah, that face was a little nuts. No, we haven't. Not as a country, as a whole. This country has not taken part in our electoral process, especially the primaries. Wonder why? Because most people don't even think about the primaries. They only think about the general election. Most people don't even know when their primaries are. Of course, Fetterman shook Trump's hand. No, a lot of people did not take part in the primary when Bernie ran. Nope. Numbers were no different in the primaries than they've usually been. I'm looking it up right now. 11%, 7%,
Members of Congress that have the high privilege and distinct
13%,
honor of presenting to you
15%,
the President of the United States.
25%. I mean, some places were pretty high, but what the fuck is that?
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's really an honor. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States.
Ugh. That was gross.
Second Lady of the United States. Members of Congress and my fellow Americans, our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
This is why it's going to take 2 freaking hours. Because they're going to start clapping every other sentence he makes.
Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
You know what happens? Look what happens. Every time he steps away, they start clapping.
When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
What the hell is this? How can these people, like,
and we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure. Thank you. Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are
No, it's
rising
not.
fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
oh, it's respected like never before. Just not in the way he thinks. Ugh.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, zero
This is so
illegal
hard to
aliens
watch.
have been admitted to the United States.
Yes, this is high school. Yes, this is high school, Phoenix Fire. Yep. This is high
But
school.
we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
What the hell is going on here?
The flow
They're all
of
getting a
deadly
workout,
fentanyl
man.
across our border is down by a record
Sit down.
56%
Stand up. Sit down.
in 1 year.
Stand up. What is this?
And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline. Think of it, in recorded history.
This is the biggest
lowest number
decline.
in
Let's
over
just stick with that. This is the
125
biggest decline
years.
of a country.
1900. In fact,
The biggest
substantially
decline of a
before
country.
My wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025,
It's been the
it was down
lowest
to
since we were in the midst of the
1.7%.
COVID epidemic. Oh my God. And it's not, but that's fine.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon.
How
in
long
most
are we
states.
in?
And in some places,
Like maybe 5 minutes?
$1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state
Nowhere.
of Iowa just a few weeks ago,
Nowhere.
I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
Sure you did. Bullshit. Bullshit. I call bullshit.
Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years
Bullshit.
and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year.
Are they really clapping for a $5,000 decrease in housing costs? Oh, guys, your houses are going to cost $395,000 instead of
We want to
$400,000.
protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way.
Uh-huh.
The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long
Except for all the
years,
people
last
that don't
administration got
have
less
any
than
of those.
$1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes.
Oh my gosh, will you
A short time
stop?
ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
This is literally disgusting. This is disgusting. Every single one of those people
As
make
thousands
me
of new businesses
sick.
are forming and factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period
No,
of
you
time.
haven't.
It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than
No, it's not.
600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80 million barrels of oil.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill.
I'm not
baby,
sure I'm going to be
drill.
able to, Deb. We're not drilling. In fact, we're drilling
More
less
Americans are
than
working
we
today
almost
than at
have
any
in a
time
long time.
in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And
Nope.
100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector.
Not more people working. Not more people working. Less people working. In fact, 1 million less jobs were created
DEI
last
in
year.
America.
1 million less jobs were created last year than you originally thought.
We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year, we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
You haven't kicked them. You've kicked them off of food stamps. You kicked them off of food stamps. They aren't
And for all
off of
these
food
reasons,
stamps
I
by
say tonight,
choice.
members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
Crap. The state of our union is crap. Like lower than crap. Like a big ass crap sandwich.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
I have never been more ashamed of this country than I am right now.
Go ahead. That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
Sure they will. We'll see about that. I hope they won't.
They were in the Oval Office before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
Why the hell are we spending this long on this one thing? Can we please get this fucking speech over with?
Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. Do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given, and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best, and I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no, and every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
Just go away.
I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
You don't have any authority over it.
And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country. And this year, and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because I didn't think I'd be the president when this happened. But strange things took place, and now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news.
Why do you guys keep standing the hell up?
So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous
Navarra,
Battle of Manila.
I don't
Worked
know.
so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns.
I don't
in
know what
Luzon.
the hell he's.
And
What
81
is
years
this?
ago
Is
this month he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday. So, Buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet.
No,
in
you
the
weren't.
matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one? As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety. People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something.
They did
Tonight,
not say,
Scott and
wow,
Millie
that's
Kate
something.
Are here together, reunited for the very first time.
Oh.
Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate. And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you. And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down and take care of the service. Military aide, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service.
Yeah, he already did it.
Thank you very much. From 1776 to
While
today,
you were talking,
every
dude.
generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And
I know you said no caps. It's okay. You can do caps during this. Guys, I'm giving you guys free reign. Caps it out, baby. This is capsing time. Just do it. You guys get a free night. All the caps you want.
Citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing
Release the
largest
fury.
tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
Oh, yeah. And increased our national debt by $2 billion up to $2 trillion, all the way up to $4 trillion.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary, massive tax cuts.
No. They were the worst choice ever on the planet. And you made life worse.
They wanted large-scale tax
They stood up and
increases to
clapped
hurt
at
the
that.
people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime,
False.
and no tax
False.
on Social Security for our great
False. All of that is false. You are still taxed on all of them. You just get an increased standard deduction.
And we also
That is a
made
lie.
interest on auto loans tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America.
Which none are fully made in America. That would be none.
Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom.
I know. Why would I
who's
want an American car?
homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half.
That is false. That is false.
Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name it.
Yes, you did.
I did not name that.
Yes, you did. Bullshit.
Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row. Nice man, a good man. Tax-free investment accounts for every American child. This is something that's so special and has taken off and gone through the roof. Millions will be pre-funded courtesy of the U.S. Treasury and private individuals like Michael and Susan Dell, who have donated $6.25 billion to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children.
And you know what it'll do? It'll raise the stock markets for all of those super wealthy people that have money in the stock markets. That's all they're doing.
Michael,
They're
how do you make all that
investing.
money? He said, well,
We're
I just sat
basically
on my dorm
taking
in
American
school,
taxpayer money
made
and putting it in the
computers, sell
stock
them to
market
people.
to make wealthy
and I
people
just
more
kept
wealthy.
selling and selling and selling, and pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that, but I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad.
This is the most disgusting. And what's worse is this has only been like 30 minutes, guys.
So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over 100,000, could be much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to TrumpAccounts.gov. TrumpAccounts.gov. And a lot of people.
What is this, a
doing it.
friggin'
It's setting every record in the
advertisement?
book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's
The
stunning
dumbest thing I've
economic
ever witnessed in
turnaround,
my entire
the biggest
life.
in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were tariffs. I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically
You made
and
no
on a
deals for
national
our country.
security basis. Everything was working well.
You
Countries
cost
that
everybody,
were ripping us
every
off for
American over
decades are now paying us hundreds
$1,000.
of billions of dollars.
Yeah,
They
American
were ripping
money.
us so badly, you all know that.
American money.
They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done.
No,
They're
they're
happy.
not.
They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money.
No, we're
There was no
not.
inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down.
Supreme Court?
Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal.
No, they
that they've
don't.
already made. Right,
The
Scott?
EU
Knowing
has
that
already
the
said that
legal
they're
power
not
that
going
I,
to vote
as
on it
president,
because of your
have to
dumbass
make a new deal could be
thing.
far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful
Lies.
path that we had negotiated before
Lies.
the Supreme Court's unfortunate
It's a lie.
involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful country saving, it's saving our
It's
country, the kind of money we're
a
taking in.
lie.
Peace protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably better, leading to a solution
I
that
don't
will
know, a
be
little
even
bit.
stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries
There,
will, like in
don't
the
pay
past, substantially replace the modern day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the
We
people that
pay
I love.
the tariffs, you imbecile.
Right? Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the
No, it
United
won't.
States of America. Because we finally have a president who puts America first.
No,
Put
you
America
don't.
first. I love America.
No, you don't. You love America's money. That's it. That's it. You love America's money. That's it.
For decades before I came
You
along,
came to see my face?
we had the exact
What's up,
opposite.
Ash?
From trade to healthcare, from
Oh
energy
my
to
gosh.
immigration. Everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000.
Yeah,
in
because
just
you did the
a
worst
speck of
job
time.
humanly possible
Now,
dealing
the
with
same
a
people in this
global
chamber who voted
pandemic.
for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word they just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
Are you guys really standing up for that, you pieces of shit?
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies
You're a dirty,
created the
rotten
high
piece of
prices.
shit.
Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well.
No,
Those
we're not.
Prices are plummeting downward.
Prices are not plummeting downward. Literally the exact
the price
opposite.
Of eggs is down 60%, Madam Secretary. Thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot.
Nope.
And even beef, which was very high, is starting to
Nope.
come down significantly. Just hold on
Nope.
a little while. We're getting it down. And
Nope.
soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible
Nope.
to achieve just a short time ago. Nobody can believe when they see
Literally
the kind
none of
numbers,
that is
especially
true.
Energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like
None.
That, they can't believe it. It's like another big tax cut.
None of that
I'm also
is true.
confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing cost of health care.
Absolutely none of that.
Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%.
He's just making up
nothing else.
numbers now.
That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will
And
be
then
fair
the money
healthcare at a
goes to
much
the health
lower
insurance, you idiot. What? Like, how are these people educated?
In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big.
This is the dumbest
And I did that in my first
speech
term, and
I
the
have
Democrats
ever
immediately
heard.
terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way
Yes, he
down
just
on
stole
healthcare
10
and
billion
everything
from
else.
us for his stupid
I'm also ending
peace
the
thing too.
wildly inflated cost of prescription
No, you're
drugs
not.
like has never happened before.
No, you're not. Trump RX is just good RX. No, none of it is accurate. Literally none of it.
Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close.
You didn't
They
do
were all
anything.
talk and no action. But I got it done.
You did nothing.
Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans
Nope.
who have for decades paid by far
Nope.
the highest prices of any nation anywhere
Nope.
in the world for prescription drugs
Nope.
will now pay the lowest price anywhere in
Nope.
the world for drugs. anywhere.
Nope.
The lowest price.
No, they won't. That's a lie. It's a flat out lie.
So in my first year of the second term,
You've destroyed the country?
but strange things happen. I took prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare, from the highest price in the entire world to the lowest.
Nope.
That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more, all available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way.
You mean GoodRx? And you can't lower drug prices 500, 600, 700%.
Here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big. Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase. But a few weeks ago, she logged onto the TrumpRx website.
The
and got
GoodRx
that same
website?
drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500.
The
A
GoodRx
reduction of
website?
Much more, actually, than $3,500.
The GoodRx
Catherine,
website?
We are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom.
You haven't prayed once in your entire life, Donald Trump. You literally have never prayed before.
So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing I'm not sure it matters, because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is?
Nope.
We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory, so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices
will
of
still go up.
electricity will go down for the community, and very
No,
substantially
prices will still
down.
go up.
This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling
I
them
mean,
they can
he's
build their own
right.
plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you, and could be
But
very
no, it would not
substantial
lower
for
anyone's
all of you
electricity
cities and
bills.
towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is home ownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this are why last month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes.
Except executive orders aren't law. I don't know, Pash. I don't know.
And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Racel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon.
You'll get one soon. I know it. I know you'll get
We're
one.
also working to make it easier for Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
You're literally making it harder for people to get
Since I
any
took
of
office,
those.
The typical 401k balance is up by at least $30,000. That's a lot of money.
False.
We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up.
False.
Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year, as we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market.
They
but
understand
also
that the
ensure
people at the bottom
members
don't
of
have
Congress
extra
cannot
money to put into a
corruptly profit
401k,
from using
right?
Insider information.
Like, they understand that the problem is that these people don't have any extra money, right?
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here?
Oh my gosh, shut up, you piece
it.
of shit.
Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay. I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance.
And his couch is coming with him.
He'll get it done. If we're able to find enough of that fraud, we will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very
Never.
That's the kind of money we're
Bullshit.
talking about. We'll balance our
Bullshit.
Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota
Of a balanced budget.
parts of the world
All $2 trillion.
are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah.
This is the dumbest speech I've ever heard in my entire life. This is literally the dumbest speech I've ever heard in my entire life.
Delilah Coleman was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat
I hate
again.
this man so much.
But against all odds, she is now
I
in
hate
the
this
first
man
grade
so much.
learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please You are a great inspiration. Please stand up.
I know,
Thank you,
AJ.
Delilah.
I know it isn't a speech.
Many,
It's
if
just
not most,
propaganda,
illegal
but
aliens
still.
do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location.
Right,
That's
because
why tonight I'm calling on
Americans
Congress
that
to
speak
pass
English never
what we
get
will
into
call the
accidents, do
Delilah
they?
Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens.
Oh, gosh.
And yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into
When
our
are you
country. How we
going?
allowed this to happen
When are
with
you
open
going
borders.
to
These are the angel moms
bring
and
all of the
families
people
for
that
decades
the families
our
of the people that
government
lost their
betrayed and our
life
media
due
totally
to
ignored.
firearms
Totally.
in
It was
schools, Mr. President?
believe, actually.
When are you going to bring all the
2023, a
people that
16-year-old
lost
high
their
school
lives,
cheerleader named
the
Elizabeth
families of the people that
Medina
lost their lives because of
supposed to perform in
firearms
her
in
town's
schools,
Christmas parade,
Mr.
but she
President?
never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Lizbeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican
Why the hell is
patriots in
he talking
Congress.
about
Thank you.
himself in third person?
As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, Homeland Security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support.
Oh my gosh.
First duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
No, it's to protect all people within our borders. Literally all people. It's not just American citizens. Like, do they realize how ridiculous they look? The longer they do this, the more ridiculous they look.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up.
I'm ashamed
You
at
should be
you.
ashamed of
Shut up.
yourself. That is why I'm
Shut
also
up.
asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
This is literally disgusting. I literally,
And perhaps
I
most
have never
importantly,
been more
I'm
ashamed
asking you to approve
to be
the
American
Save
at this
America
moment.
Act.
I have never been more ashamed to be an American
Stop
at this
illegal
point.
aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting.
They aren't.
In our sacred.
They already
American
aren't.
Elections. And
They
cheating
already
is
aren't.
Rampant in our elections.
They
It's
already
rampant.
aren't.
It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
Except the SAVE Act is unconstitutional, you piece of shit.
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89%.
This is literally the worst State of the Union in
And
history.
even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot.
Except he's not
Yeah,
a
policy,
communist.
but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good.
Yeah, because they're paying you.
Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly.
You
agree on
understand?
the
He understands that they're being paid, right?
just enunciate
So
it.
yeah, you got to show
Congress
ID
should
to
unite
get,
and enact
because
this
you're getting
common-sense,
paid.
country-saving
Just like when you
legislation
get
right
any
now, and it should
job,
be
you got to
before
give them
anything else
IDs
happens.
so taxes can be taken out. He's paying them $30 an hour.
And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things. You almost say, what imagination they have. They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it.
This
We have to
president
stop
is
it,
the
guys.
most disgusting human being I have ever witnessed. And every single one of those people that are standing up and clapping for this are the most disgusting people I have ever seen in my entire life.
And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland.
I am struggling not to
left-wing
just
judge
punch my screen
refused to
right now.
return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
Liberty. Oh yeah, she looks so happy.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But
I'm
now we
still
have to
saying
say
what's
it
wrong
because
with
it's
you.
going on all over numerous states.
saying it right now.
Not even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
Yeah, you think that's funny? You think that's funny?
Amazing.
This is...
Incredible. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? Huh? No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the past year, she has had an incredible impact championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan
By the way,
support
Ziggy,
than
thank
I
you
do.
for
I get none.
subscribing.
She
I
gets a lot.
appreciate that.
Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight, we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much. I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal.
No, there hasn't. No, there hasn't.
This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man. So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
Thank you. Please give me more money.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind. We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train.
What do you mean, what's
when
going on with Charlotte? Charlotte's just fine, thank
monster
you.
Who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget there were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly,
That
that they
doesn't
stay
fix
there.
the problem, you idiot.
Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How
Bullshit.
did that happen?
That's bullshit.
In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago. They don't like to hear that. One of sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was
Literally
20-year-old West
wasn't.
Virginia Army National Guard specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank.
Does
was
he
going to
realize we
be
can look up this
lifted.
information?
She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol.
There have already been
near the White House
284
when she
violent
was
crimes in
ambushed and Shot in
2026.
the head by a terrorist monster from
And there were only
Afghanistan.
401
Should
in
have been
all
our
of last
country.
year.
And all because she wore the uniform of our nation. She was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Evalie.
There's
Your daughter was
284
a true American
violent
patriot, and
crimes.
she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've
And
never
in the
seen
same
anything
amount of
like
time
it.
last year, there were 401. It's gone down, but it's not 100%, not even close. I've never
So
been
sorry.
more
Thank you
disgusted in
very
my
much.
life.
A great young lady. I saw reports. That were
This
like
this speech
perfect. She was perfect.
is the most disgusting.
Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot
Thing
Andrew
I
in
have
the head,
ever seen.
and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night, and she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone, but his mother said, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying, and after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation.
So,
But she turned out to be right, right?
for
Melody?
everyone
She
on
turned
here,
out to be right.
I want to be clear. This is making me feel more and more that we need to get every single Republican out of office.
amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death. And we're talking about the edge of death. On his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Stop standing up all the time. Oh my God.
So, Andrew, while you're up,
this isn't
now I'm going
a
to
friggin'
ask
workout.
A highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
Is it? It is if you count mental gymnastics.
We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars.
Is that why all the
including
Americans have to
Cambodia.
hide in Mexico right now?
Sick people.
You're sick.
Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people.
Bullshit! It would have been a
The Prime
war.
Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement.
Oh my
Kosovo
gosh.
and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia,
And
Armenia
Ethiopia?
and Azerbaijan, the Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared.
Like, it's still happening. Remember when he said he was going to end
And I
the
also
war in
wanna
Ukraine
thank the
on
man
day
they report
one?
to,
Before he went into
Secretary of
office?
State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
Maybe some Hail Marys. Oh.
People like you. You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they
He
feel that
is
way, right, Marco?
the most
You have done a
disgusting
great job,
person
great
I have
Secretary of
ever
State. I think
seen
he'll
in
go
my
down as the
entire
best
life.
ever.
Oh my gosh, stop standing up. Sit your asses down and let
Under
him
the
finish.
ceasefire
I want to go
negotiated, every single
home.
hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that?
Clapping like seals for a SeaWorld trainer. Seriously, Adam.
Nobody thought it was
Seriously.
possible. Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. It was an amazing period of time. And they came back and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back. But we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug and they dug and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back."
He's never seen a shovel.
It's true. We got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job.
This is so pitiful.
And we're working very hard to end the 9th war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000
Think of that.
soldiers are
25.
dying.
No one's ever heard a number like that before.
A war which would have never happened if I were president.
All right. See you, Aaron.
As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate.
You
to
don't know.
confront
You
threats
wouldn't
to
know
America
peace
wherever
if it
we must.
bit you on the
That's
ass.
why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons
No, you
program
didn't.
with an attack on Iranian
No,
soil
you didn't.
known as Operation Midnight
No,
Hammer.
you didn't. You didn't do that. You didn't do that.
Good.
You didn't do that.
For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they
It's
seized
been
control
many
of
decades.
that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact. He was
Yeah,
the
you almost
father
started
of
a
the
world
roadside
war.
bomb. And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests, 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue. They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to
No,
start
you
it all
didn't.
over again.
You
And at
didn't
this
wipe it
moment,
all
again,
out.
Pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference. My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon either. But I just cannot. I just can't. I just.
And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called Peace Through Strength, and it's been very, very effective.
No, it's not effective. That's why we stopped doing Peace Through Strength. It's literally been shown to be the worst thing ever.
So thanks to
That's why we don't do
we're
it
investing
anymore.
a record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our
No, we
country.
don't.
And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed at my very strong request to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2.
He said that unironically after purging the federal government. Yeah.
And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done.
Technically,
could not
they haven't
happen. We
gone
got
up to
it really easily in
5%
one
yet,
meeting.
you numbskull.
Big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces
What
is
the
setting records.
is he
for
talking
recruitment.
about?
This is so exciting. And every service member recently.
My brain hurts so much, Pashley, right now. Like, I can't even describe it. By the way, what's up, Liddy?
And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of
No, they didn't.
$1,776.
That money was already put aside. You just renamed it. It was actually already put aside for
You know, they
them.
put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things.
No,
A
you
lot of money
didn't.
We have much
No,
more
you
money than
didn't.
people understand.
You did
Have to
not get
rebuild
that money
program
from
a little bit,
tariffs.
but it won't take long.
That was a
But we
lie.
got the money, and it was $1,775.
Well, I know they.
And they wanted
I
my
know they
approval.
received the
And I
money.
said, "What's the number?" $1,775. I said, "Wait a minute. For one
They
more
were on the
dollar, we could have
tariff shelf.
$1,776. It's going to." I said, "We're going to figure that." I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar. I said $1,776, and I said, "That's good." And I'll tell you what, our military. That was 4 months ago. Our military. I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it. So we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military, we love our
1776.
law
I bet you
enforcement.
guys have never heard of
love
that
the
number
firemen.
before.
The
Not
firemen
many
don't get
people
mentioned enough. We
have
love our
ever heard
firemen.
of the number 1776. I didn't even know about 1776 until I became president.
We're also restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
Which does absolutely nothing. That does absolutely nothing.
And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that.
Nope.
We very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January,
Yeah, he obviously doesn't know how cartels work. Adam, you must be flipping out right now.
In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very impressive.
No, they didn't.
They all watched. They saw what happened.
No, they didn't.
This is a different
No, they
fighting
didn't.
force that we
What's
had years
impressive?
ago when we fought
The
to tie.
the complete chaos that is
It's a great
going through
fighting
Mexico
force. I'm
right
so
now.
proud of it. Look
That's
at
what's impressive.
Space Force is
Yeah,
my
he
baby.
can't name any
We
names.
did that. My baby.
He
is
can't name
becoming
any
so
names
important.
because nobody did. Alex, I'll take things that never happened for 500.
And America's armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice. And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens
No, it
up
wasn't.
a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela.
Nothing
We're
changed
working
over
closely
there.
with the new president of Venezuela,
Who is
Delcy
actually
Rodriguez
considered
to unleash
worse than
extraordinary
the
economic
former
gains for
one.
both of our countries, and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandra feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with
Sure
more
they
to
have.
come. Alejandra, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
Oh, this is manipulation at the highest level. Is this a talk show? Pretty much.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique.
Enrique?
There were many heroes on that January
Did he just do the
raid
prices
to
right?
capture
Yes,
Maduro.
Ghost. He just
Really
did the
great
prices
heroes.
right.
It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter, a big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many.
You get a medal, and
many
you get a medal.
American warfighters wearing the dog tags. His wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good? While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing
Jim,
Eric was thinking
painful
about.
isn't even a good
And
enough
even
description.
as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine guns stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from
This is
what
the
could have
dumbest
been
thing
a
I've ever
catastrophic
heard.
crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission. We probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about
Ginger,
ready to pass out.
he needed to
The success of the
an
entire
hour
mission and the
ago.
lives of his fellow warriors hinge on
We're
Eric's
literally
ability
almost
to
at
take
2 hours now.
the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets, and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew, because
Think
they
Vance
saw
is
the blood
thinking
pouring
about
down the
his
aisle.
sofa? He might be.
Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife, Amy, Eric, and Amy. Come on in.
You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call of duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor. Well, thank you very much, Eric and Amy. Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg, we have it back, we brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back.
Because he's a...
Everybody wanted to change back too.
No,
And 10
no,
of Eric's
everybody
fellow
didn't.
warriors from that incredible night of
Everybody
victory
didn't.
will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House, and Eric will be there.
Everybody didn't.
Thank you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952, Royce was in the dogfight of a lifetime, legendary dogfight. Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by
He's
seven
trying
Soviet
to he's
fighter
trying to
planes.
make people think
It was
he
his first
cares
aerial combat of
about
the war, and despite being
our
massively
servicemen.
outnumbered and outgunned, Royce
That is why they're
led the
doing this.
takedown of 4 enemy
He's
jets
trying
and
to make people think
almost
he
destroyed
cares
the
about
others,
our
vanquishing
servicemen.
his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
That thing is literally choking him. No, he doesn't care about these people, and that's the sad part. That's the frustrating part. He doesn't give a rat's behind about these people, and it makes me pissed off even more. Oh, my lips are here. Guys, everyone say hello to my lips. My lips are here. Hey, Mama Bear.
Thank you, Royce, and thank you, Eric. I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday. But you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing. And
Did
it's
he
an
really
honor to
just
be in
joke
the
about
same
giving
room with
himself
you.
a Congressional Medal of
Very
Honor?
much, Eric. Thank you. Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans
This is
built
exhausting,
nation from
and I'm
13
watching it.
humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom. The strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel. And then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American
What is he talking
culture.
about?
And
He's talking
now
about
we
the
are
Artemis
pioneering
mission.
The next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world.
That's what he's talking
All
about.
of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of
We saw them walk
humanity's
in. They're going to be
backs.
talking about
For
the
years, they
NASA
were forgotten, betrayed, and
astronauts.
cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America.
You can tell he's getting
And when
tired.
God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly
Nope,
who
nothing
to ask.
truthful yet.
There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first
That podium is
250
fighting for its
years were
life.
just the beginning.
Seriously.
From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before.
Yeah, once we
Thank
get rid of
God
you
bless you,
and all
God
the
bless
GOP.
America.
Finally done. Thank God. Notice how like everyone else is leaving and his administration were standing there, and the people in his cabinet kept standing there even longer. This is disgusting. This was vile and disgusting. All I know is the longest in history. So I mostly heard Mike. Oh gosh, tomorrow is going to be a shit show talking about this. Can you imagine how many people are going to come into the live tomorrow morning and go, "That was the best speech I'd ever heard in my life"? Gonna make sure. Oh my gosh, yeah, coffee is gonna be waiting. Yeah, whatever they gave him made him stand up. He's still going. Did they just have his tie signed? What planet are we on?
You're looking at video now of President Donald Trump as he makes his exit from the
What
U.S. House chamber.
planet
He has been giving what
are
is now
we
the longest
on?
State of the Union address in our country's history. He broke that record tonight, but he's shaking hands with a lot of those members of Congress who often line the aisles in moments like this, mostly probably Republicans, if I had
Probably?
to guess.
Oh,
but
no,
wanting
they're all
to get that
Republicans.
moment with the president after his address, after multiple rounds of standing ovations.
Yeah, probably
from
broke the record of
Republicans.
lies too.
We'll get
Yep.
into a bit of what we heard in terms of Democratic response here in a moment. I'm Meg Kennard. I'm back here, of course, with Sagar Meghani in the U.S. Capitol. And Sagar, we've been listening to this speech. Just a reminder to you all, by the way, we will be bringing you the Democratic response from Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger as soon as it begins. So if you make an abrupt exit from our talkback right now, that's exactly what's going to be happening. So just a reminder of the fast-moving night we have. But Sagar, what do you think is, one aside from the record-breaking length, one of your biggest takeaways in terms of what we heard from President Trump tonight?
I think the first part was what the White House and what many Republicans wanted it to be, and that was very heavily focused on the economy. And
Yeah, and guess what they didn't talk about?
acknowledging that people
The e-files.
still don't see costs.
Notice
as
they
low as they
didn't
want them
talk
to be. He
about the
really tried to
e-files
lean into
one time.
Things he has done to help the
We need to
economy,
talk
from
about the
Trump's savings
e-files
accounts and, of
so
course, the
loud
tariffs,
tomorrow.
With very muted criticism of the Supreme Court, unlike he did after its ruling back on Friday. There was the Trump veering off message. You know, we have the prepared text and we can follow along. And I think we all know the president's face and his tone changing when he wants to veer. But he also turned it into a pep rally of sorts.
Or
I've never
ice.
seen that many awards and actual medals.
There were
Yeah,
a
did
lot
you
of
hear?
awards
Pep
and
rally.
medals. The Presidential Medal of Freedom was given
Die.
out,
I have
Congressional
never
Medal
been
of
more
Honor,
disgusted in
Legion
my
of
entire
Merit
life
Awards, Legion
at
of Merit.
anything
There was
that
the
any
men's
politician
Olympic
has
gold
ever
medal
done, I
winning
think,
hockey team.
than
Some members
watching
of it
this.
in the balcony. They were at the White House earlier today. They were in the chamber.
This
with
may
their
be the
medals
most
tonight.
disgusting
With the promise of
experience I
another
have
medal,
ever
right?
had.
For the goalie.
It's it was something. It was the president likes giving things out and he likes receiving them as well. So there was the obligatory joke about whether he's going to get some type
Pure
of award and whether he's
propaganda,
allowed to do
and
that.
it was like they were having
we
a
also
friggin'
saw Democrats.
It was like they were having a friggin' like game show. Not a game. Yeah, some of it was like there was a game show. It was a friggin' like pep rally. It was like people were the GOP were sitting there going, USA, USA, USA. Like, it was disgusting. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. No. It wasn't even like taking up space. This was just, I don't know. It's like they were trying to like fabricate energy so he didn't fall asleep. If I were a betting man, they were fabricating energy so he didn't fall asleep. It was the worst speech ever. The Democrats were great. It was the worst speech of all time. The worst speech to have ever been spoken by a president in the State of the Union. There was so little truth that it hurt my soul. The history books will write about how false this State of the Union was. The only reason I'm keeping it on is because Spanberger is supposed to be talking soon. So when they switch to that, I'll put it back on and hear the response. But how did it go? Worst State of the Union ever experienced. Think the No. The Republicans, from what I saw, the Republicans threw their hat in. They have thrown their hat in with this administration 100% with this State of the Union. Worst speech of all time. There has never been a worse speech. It was vile. It was disgusting. It was deplorable. And it made... I have never been more... No, the Democrats looked disgusted. You're disillusioned. Oh.
The Virginia colony gathered here to take on the extraordinary task of governing themselves. Before there was a Declaration of Independence, a Constitution, or a Bill of Rights, there were people in this room. The people who served here ultimately dreamed of what a new nation, unlike anything the world had ever seen, could be. The United States was founded on the idea that ordinary people could reject the unacceptable excesses of poor leadership, band together to demand better of their government, and create a nation that would be an example for the world. And this year, as we celebrate 250 years since America declared our independence from tyranny, I can think of no better place to speak to you as we reflect on the current state of our union. Tonight, as we watched our nation's lawmakers gather for a joint session of Congress, we did not hear the truth from our president. So let's speak plainly and honestly. And let me ask you, the American people watching at home, 3 questions. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? Is the president working to keep Americans safe both at home and abroad? Is the president working for you? As I campaigned for governor last year, I traveled to every corner of Virginia, and I heard the same pressing concern everywhere. Costs are too high in housing, healthcare, energy, and childcare. And I know these same conversations are being had all across this country. Because since this president took office last year, his reckless trade policies have forced American families to pay more than $1,700 each in tariff costs.
Yep.
Small businesses have suffered, farmers have suffered, some losing entire markets. Everyday Americans are paying the price.
Yep.
And even though the Supreme Court struck these tariffs down 4 days ago, the damage to us, the American people, has already been done. Meanwhile, the president is planning for new tariffs, another massive tax hike on you and your family. And Republicans in Congress, they remain unwilling to assert their constitutional authority to stop him. They're making your life harder. They're making your life more expensive. They're even making it more difficult to see a doctor. Rural health clinics in Virginia and across the country are already closing their doors thanks to the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, championed by the president and Republicans in Congress. And tonight, the president celebrated this law, the one threatening rural hospitals, stripping healthcare from millions of Americans and driving up costs in energy and housing, all while cutting food programs for hungry kids.
And massively increasing our national debt.
But here in Virginia, I am working with our state legislature to lower costs and make the Commonwealth more affordable. And it's not just me. Democrats across the country are laser focused on affordability in our nation's capital and in state capitals and communities across America. In the most innovative and exceptional nation in the history of the world, Americans deserve to know that their leaders are focused on addressing the problems that keep them up at night. Problems that dictate where you live, whether you can afford to start a business or whether you have to skip a prescription in order to buy groceries. So I'll ask again, is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? We all know the answer is no. I grew up in a house of service. My mother was a nurse, and my father was a career law enforcement officer. I began my career by following in my father's footsteps as a federal agent, working money laundering and narcotics cases. I worked side by side with local and state police to keep our community safe and to uphold and enforce the law. Law enforcement officers across the country know that it is a unique responsibility to do the serious work of investigating crimes,
this is great, Shell.
comforting victims, and making
This is
arrests.
exactly what they need to do.
It's about building trust, and that requires an abiding sense of duty and commitment to community. And yet, our president has sent poorly trained federal agents into our cities, where they have arrested and detained American citizens and people who aspire to be Americans. And they have done it without a warrant. They have ripped nursing mothers away from their babies. They have sent children, a little boy in a blue bunny hat, children to far-off detention centers, and they have killed American citizens in our streets. And they have done it all with their faces masked from accountability. Every minute spent sowing fear is a minute not spent investigating murders, crimes against children, or the criminals defrauding seniors of their life savings. Our president told us tonight that we are safer because these agents arrest mothers and detain children. Think about that. Our broken immigration system is something to be fixed, not an excuse for unaccountable agents to terrorize our communities. After working in law enforcement, I continued my career of service as a CIA officer, working undercover to protect the United States and our allies from global threats, terrorism, nuclear weapons, and the aggression of adversarial nations around the globe. But as the president spoke of his perceived successes tonight, he continues to see
I almost
economic
broke
power and technological
both of my
strength to
monitors,
Russia,
Kia.
bow down to China, bow down to a Russian dictator, and make plans for war with Iran. Here's the truth. Over the last year, through DOGE, mass firings, and the appointment of deeply unserious people to our nation's most serious positions, our president has endangered the long and storied history of the United States of America being a force for good.
It's very.
So I'll ask again.
So they wrote
is the
this.
president
They
working
write
to
this
keep Americans
before
safe, both at home
he gives his
and abroad?
speech. They can't.
We all know the answer.
They
is
can't
no.
do it
In his
right
speech
after.
tonight, the president did what he always does. He lied, he scapegoated, and he distracted. And he offered no real solutions to our nation's pressing challenges, so many of which he is actively making worse. He tries to divide us. He tries to enrage us, to pit us against one another, neighbor against neighbor. And sometimes he succeeds. And so you have to ask, who benefits from his rhetoric, his policies, his actions, the short list of laws he's pushed through this Republican Congress? Somebody must be benefiting. He's enriching himself, his family, his friends. The scale of the corruption is unprecedented. There's the cover-up of the Epstein files, the crypto scams, cozying up to foreign princes for
Right in the
airplanes and
beginning.
billionaires for ballrooms, putting his name and face on buildings all over our nation's capital. This is not what our founders envisioned, not by a long shot. So I'll ask again, is the president working for you? We all know the answer is no. But here's the special thing about America. On our 250th anniversary, we know better than any nation what is possible when ordinary citizens, like those who once dreamed right here in this room, reject the unacceptable and demand more of their government. We see it in the determination of students organizing school walkouts all across the country, whose voices are becoming so powerful that the governor of Texas seeks to silence them. We see it in the bravery of Americans in Minnesota standing up for their communities, from peacefully protesting in sub-zero temperatures to carpooling children to school so that their immigrant parents are not ripped away from them in the parking lot. As a mother of 3 school-aged daughters, I am inspired by their bravery, but I am sickened that it is necessary. And Americans across the country are taking action. They are going to the ballot box to reject this chaos. With their votes, they are writing a new story, a more hopeful story. In November, I won my election by 15 points. And we won 13 new seats in our state legislature. Because voters decided they wanted something different. Our campaign earned votes from Democrats, Republicans, independents, and everyone in between. Because they knew as citizens they could demand more, that they could vote for what they believe matters, and that they didn't need to be constrained by a party or political affiliation. This is happening across the country.
Oh,
New Jersey
I'm
elected
sure.
Mikey Sherrill as governor
sure,
in a
Kia.
double-digit victory. Democrats flipped state legislative seats in places like Georgia, Iowa, Mississippi, and Texas. The list goes on and on. Ordinary Americans are stepping up to run in the spirit of our forefathers. They are running to demand more and to do more for their neighbors and communities. I know this story well. I first ran for office in 2018 alongside dozens of other Democrats who did the seemingly impossible, flipping 41 seats in Congress. In my case, I was the first Democrat elected in 50 years, swinging our district 17 points. Those who are stepping up now to run will win in November because Americans, you at home, know you can demand more and that we are working to lower costs. We are working to keep our communities and our country safe, and we are working for you. In his farewell address, George Washington warned us about the possibility of, quote, cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men rising to power. But he also encouraged us, all Americans, to unite in a common cause, to move this nation forward. That is our charge once more, and that is what we are seeing across the country. It is deeply American and patriotic to do so, and it is how we ensure that the state of our union remains strong, not just this year, but for the next 250 years as well, because we, the people, have the power to make change, the power to stand up for what is right, the power to demand more of our nation. May God bless the Commonwealth of Virginia, and may God bless the United States of America.
I mean, I don't know. I think we expect too much of it. I don't think it was bad. It was way better than Trump's. But that bar is not very high. I don't think it was weak. But that's my opinion. I think we have a higher assumption that the people that would have needed to hear it were actually watching it, Shell, and I don't think as many people watched it as we think we watched it. I think their goal was to not be bad. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Not to mention they were coming after a 2-hour thing, so. No, I don't think the purpose of that was to get people to think. I think the purpose of that was to try and bring the focus back onto the things that people actually care about, which is affordability and things of that. Was it the best speech I've ever seen? No. But it was way better than some of the other ones I've seen. Ugh. Remember when What's-Her-Face from Alabama did hers in the friggin' kitchen? It was toe the line. And honestly, yeah, Brit. And honestly, I didn't want it to be something else, nor is it ever been something else. That was never really the point of those speeches. I mean, I understand we wanted more, but here's the thing. We need The more comes after his speech. The more comes when we point out the bullshit and we keep focus on the stuff that we need to keep focused on, which is the fact that we can't afford anything still, the fact that we're losing healthcare, the fact that things are getting more expensive, the fact that he didn't talk about the e-files at all, the fact that he didn't talk about the victims of the in the e-files at all. Those are the things that we need to keep talking. What happened to the people, what happened to citizens and human beings around the country. Right. He sounded crazy. She sounded professional. He sounded a little wackadoo. She sounded human. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't sitting here going, yeah, or anything, but also I'm like, compared to what he said, I mean, there aren't many people over on the tube right now, Summer. She strung together full sentences. That is very true. All right, guys. I'm going to be back in 10 hours. I need to go calm down so I can go to sleep. Thanks for all of you that stuck with me for the last 2.5 hours, 3 hours, however long I was on. I understand that it's frustrating, that we wish things went differently, but understand this is a whole process. We as the people need to worry about what we can do to help in the midterms. And that's all we can do. You guys, thank you for the likes, the shares, the gifts, and the subs. All of you. Rosa, I didn't realize how much you'd given. Thank you so much. Same with Patty. Thank for all the other people that gave. Yes, his speech went exactly how I thought it would go. I am in Charlotte. You guys are amazing. We should I need to try and do something sometime around here because there are some people in Charlotte. I'll have to talk about that later. Right now, bed. You guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Go to bed. I was going to say do something that makes you happy, but what should make you happy right now is going to sleep. Bye, guys. Love you. See you in a few hours.